Welcome back to Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. Today's episode, powered by Hayabusa, is about 5 different ways I set up my rear uppercuts. In today's video, we're talking about setting up the rear uppercut, and I rant and rave about this all the time, is that this rear uppercut is not used enough in combat sports. We always see nice straight punches, big bombing hooks, but rarely do we see the nice uppercut. And when we do see them, we see some good action and some good damage. The recent fight I can remember where the uppercut was really effective was that Gaethje-Chandler fight. You see how one nicely placed uppercut can do a lot of good damage. Okay, so let's get into 5 different ways you can set up the uppercut. Now, the main thing these setups do, okay, there's 2 things that we need to think about with the uppercut. Now, one is how I hide my rear shoulder. If I'm fighting really square and I'm trying to land an uppercut, 1, it's very shown, right? It's not hidden. And 2, there's no power because I'm not turning my feet with a squared shoulder. So, in order to set something up, I would like to hide this, right? So even if I'm feinting and I put my lead side, you can't see my rear uppercut to be able to jam up the middle, all right? So that's the first thing, hiding it. The second thing with the setup is if your opponent is very bladed, right? It's going to be hard to land the uppercut. So the idea is squaring them up so you can land your uppercut up the middle. So those are the 2 main things to landing an effective uppercut. The way you set it up, and can you get your opponent's shoulders nice and square to be able to pop it up the middle. Now, this isn't a video to teach you how to throw the uppercut. It's more about the setup and the timing to land it. But the main thing I want you to remember is the position of the elbow when you do land it. Too many people throw uppercuts with the angle. There's a lot of space from here. What I want you to do is focus on getting your elbow, okay, to rub the side of your body as it comes up. Now, you might hear your coach say corkscrew. What does that mean? So think about screwing your hand up. By corkscrewing your hand up, what happens is you see my elbow automatically comes in and I can drive it up on a nice straight line. If my opponent's shelled up here, there's a little narrow window that I got to get my hand up. So if I'm creating an angle, it's not going to be good. I need to be able to come straight up the middle, okay? So something to think about technically for this video. So the jab is my #1 way of setting up the uppercut. Now, either if there's stationary or against the ropes, I can paw their eyes out and then boom, smack it. But to me, the most damaging uppercut is if I'm jabbing backwards, okay? This is what I call a probing jab or a back drawing jab. If I'm drawing here, what happens? My opponent gets confident. They start opening up to bomb and then boom, right up that middle, I'd smack them with that rear uppercut, okay? So whether it's stationary, I'm blinding the eyes, blind, blind, blind. If I'm probing that jab up, they're going to lift their hands up. They might try to parry. It's going to create space up that middle for me. Boom, smack, okay? So using the jab, one of my favorite ways. Again, a lot of people do that, but what it also does too, when I'm jabbing, you don't jab square, right? What you do is when you jab, you put this side in front of you. My first point was hiding the rear shoulder. So when I'm jabbing here and I'm mixing in feints, this shoulder's nice and loaded, boom, right? That's the big power we're looking for. So the jab blinds your opponent, powers up your rear side to get that effective uppercut. Now, the second way is using hooks. Now, what does a hook do? 2 ways here now. If I throw maybe off of a jab, boom, I throw a hook. How does someone block the hook? Coming outside, right? If they're going to parry it, or if anything, they might open up slightly, it leaves that open space for me. So bang, drive up the uppercut. That point about hiding it, look what the hook does. When I hook, it puts my rear shoulder behind, right? So boom, you can't see it. Right up the middle, you land the uppercut. Now, for my more advanced followers, you can use the hook to create an angle in your footwork. If someone is standing really tight and they're not moving with my hook, they're catching. What I can do, when I hook, I angle and pivot out. And all of a sudden, boom, right up the middle, okay? So if I can use a hook or a hand pinning angle to get right up the middle, it's going to be very effective, because even this hand pin, they might press against it. As I'm circling out, they might press against it. The press out just opens that chin for me. I go right up the middle, okay? Beautiful one to do. So using the jab, number one. Number two, using that hook or that hand pin angle, right? It's just going to help you land that uppercut so effectively. Especially if you're fighting a pressure fighter who keeps coming forward. Boom, bang, walk them into an outside angle, uppercut up the middle. Beautiful finish in that. Now, kickboxers here, right? I'm known for my low kicks. So one of the best ways that I like to use for number three is the inside low kick. Now, depends how I set it up. I'm not just going to throw a blind inside low kick, right? I might throw jabs, some straight punches. All of a sudden, boom, I kick the inside leg out. What does kicking the inside leg do? It squares my opponent up. Squaring them up, I land my uppercut more effectively. So say they're bladed, right? How am I going to land that uppercut? So by kicking the inside leg, kick it out, boom, square the shoulders, uppercut up the middle. So inside, boom, up the middle with the uppercut, okay? So swipe that leg out, bladed, puts them square, lets the uppercut go up the middle. Very beautiful. Now, number four, a little bit more IQ here, okay? So this is very important. When you throw the uppercut, it has to be set up properly because otherwise it's a shot that you can be countered very easily. One of the hardest ones, if I'm leading with an uppercut, boom, right? Everyone will say, don't lead with an uppercut because you're going to get caught. Now, if I'm here and I'm opening up, look how much space, look how much area there is for me to be countered. So one of my favorite setups is using the jab to overhand, okay? So my setup, jab, overhand. I might throw it a couple times. I might get them confident. Jab, overhand. Now, once I want them to block, it's not meant for them to kind of hit them. It might, and it might do well, but the idea is I want a defensive response from them. So boom, boom, right? What's going to happen? They might start doing this. They might lift up here to catch, right? Then all of a sudden, 1, 2, they think it's coming again. 1, boom. 1, 2, 1, uppercut. Okay? So see now, you're creating and playing with different tempos, different rhythms. Now they expect the overhand. You bring the uppercut up the middle. Very effective. Okay? So one seems obvious, but not done enough, right? After you've thrown 2 overhands, the uppercut has to be coming. If anything, what's going to happen is they're not going to know if an uppercut or an overhand's just going to make your overhand more effective to land. So very important to change up the angle of the punch. So jab, overhand, jab, uppercut. Make them think one thing, do the other. You know, basics 101. Now, what we're going to talk about is my last one, which tends to be one of my favorites too. It's using the same hand. Now, we talked about the overhand, the jab overhand to jab uppercut, but now I can throw the uppercut right off the right hand. So 1, 2, okay? 1, come in, 2. Now, the beautiful thing about this is called an angled shuffle. So I can kind of move my foot coming in, or I can cross, and if I get a shell, I'll create an angle. Boom. And just like using the hook, I might cross to an angled hand pin into the uppercut, right? So I'm still using the same side, right? Now my advanced followers, remember, hand pins are very effective, right? So I can go 1, hand pin, uppercut. Or I could even just go right into it. Or if they even pressure me, I can go backwards, right? So it all depends on what your opponent's doing. If they're coming forward, hit them backwards, boom. If they're moving backwards, you can throw that angled shuffle step moving forward, right? So just understanding. I can tell you one way is better than the other, but really what's best is depending on what your opponent is doing. Are they shelling? Are they moving? You might have to shell them up, right? If you're fighting an evasive fighter who's moving, kind of dancing with their feet, I can't just come in there and whip an uppercut. I got to shell them up. I got to get them blocking, keeping their hands up, and then once they defend punches, then I can create that angle, bang up the middle, and get my finish. So, a lot to think about here, but remember, watch your opponent's shoulders. If they're bladed, you might have to shell them, kick them in. When you want to land them, make sure you hide it. Hide it with good punches, hide it with the lead shoulder, and keep that elbow in to do the most damage. All right? Like, subscribe, share. Make sure you support the channel sponsor by going to hayabusafight.com. Check out all of their T3 gears, which is one of my favorites. We have Perfect Sports Nutrition. If you use code Bazooka20, get 20% off your supplements, all linked in the description below. And we also have bazookashop.com. Last but not least, bazookatraining.com for only $9.99 a month. That's less than $10 a month. You get 4 videos a week. 4 brand new training videos a week, every Monday. Plus we have an archive of over 100 videos for you to learn from. We have beginner, intermediate, advanced concepts, home drills, sparring drills, tutorials, okay? Bag work. We have everything covered. So any type of equipment, any gym, any level, you are covered here at bazookatraining.com. So get your friends on the site, get your friends liking, get your friends subscribing, and we'll see you next time here at Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. Welcome to Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA online training. I'm Bazooka Joe Valtellini, the owner here at Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA. Over the past year, I've designed and created a website to teach Bazooka curriculum at home and across the world. The purpose of this website is for you to, 1, hit your fitness and health goals, all while learning world-class martial arts instruction from me. The beautiful thing about this website, it's geared for all levels. So if you're learning martial arts for the first time as a beginner, we help you progress into the bigger stages. And if you're a pro fighter, guess what? We have different fight concepts for you to improve your tool set and your skills in the ring or cage. As the fastest rising kickboxing world champion and a lifelong martial artist with over 30 years of experience, I've been able to combine my passion for martial arts and teaching to create this website. This website is going to give you some of the tricks, secrets, and inside look at some of the training I use to win my world title. Once you subscribe to this site, you're going to be getting weekly training videos and tutorials that you can do from anywhere. The sections are broken up into 3 parts. The first is bag workout. So if you have a bag at home or at your gym, you can use these workouts to supplement your training. The second is at-home workouts. A lot of us don't have the room for a bag or a bag in general, so these workouts are for no equipment needed and you can do them anywhere. And finally, the tutorial section. If you're having any problems with a specific technique or fight concept that's covered in any of the workouts, go to the tutorial section, learn the technique, and then go back to the workout, and this time, do it with proper technique. One of the added benefits once you subscribe is the forums section, where you can get a more personalized experience where you can ask questions and I'll be able to go in there and answer them. It's all about building a team and a community of martial artists helping each other grow. So subscribe now to get access to all the videos plus more so you can be part of the squad here at Bazooka Kickboxing and MMA.